Okay, this is Shakespeare sonnet number 30, Went to the Sessions of Sweet Silent Thought. What's the first thing we notice in the first two lines? Went to the sessions of sweet silent thought, I summon up remembrance of things past. We have the alliteration on the S sound, session, sweet, silent, summon. So the speaker is stating that when he goes to these sessions of sweet silent thought, like the sessions of court, he summons up remembrance. So we have the notion of to summon up or to receive a summons. So he summons up, he calls um, almost as a witness this remembrance of things past. So he starts to remember the things of the past. And he says, I sigh the lack of many a thing I sought. So he sighs, he cries for many a thing that he desired. And with these old woes, so he recalls these things that he wanted but never attained. And he says, with these old woes, new wail my dear time's waste. So he's new wailing, he's crying once again for these old woes, and he's thinking about the waste of time. And at this point, he says, when then, so it's a when then construction, then I can drown an eye, unused to flow for precious friends hid in death, dateless night. So he's thinking again, he's thinking about his friends who have departed this earth. So he can drown an eye now, unused to flow. So he hasn't been crying. And weep afresh love's long since canceled woe. Thinking about these disappointments of the past or things in his love life, and moan the expense of many a vanished sight. So here these are he's recalling things of the past, people, and he's crying once again for his friends who are no longer here. Then can I grieve at grievances foregone? So now he starts talking about grievances, things in the past where maybe things that were done to him. So he can grieve at these again, and heavily from woe to woe tell o'er the sad account of fore bemoaned moan, which I knew pay as if not paid before. So it's like he's paying for these grievances once again, as if he never paid for them the first time. So, and we have this notion of like an account or accounting, right? The sad account. He's counting up these grievances. So here at the end of the douzaine is lines 1 through 12. We have a sonnet based on this remembrance, where he's going into his mind and he's recalling the things of the past that have happened to him, friends that have died, bad things that have happened to him, maybe things dealing with his love life, love's long since canceled woe, sadness, people who have vanished from him. And then he's grieving through this process of remembrance. He's remembering all these things, and he's crying and reliving them as if for the first time. So, but at this point in the couplet, it sort of goes in a new direction. But if the while I think on thee, dear friend, all losses are restored and sorrows end. So when he thinks about this person, the addressee, then all of a sudden, all these losses, the things that he's lost in life, are restored, and all the sorrows end. So there's an uplift at the end here. It's sort of like a redemption in some ways, in that when he thinks of this person, this friend, he's made whole again. So it has an uplift at the end. There's a positivity there, whereas in making up for lines 1 through 12, which have to do with this melancholic reflection.